The 151st meeting all time is underway as Texas Tech controls the tip. Toppin. They swing it around. Atwell's three is on target.
And that's what he does. He is a shooter. 46 of his 51 shots in conference have been from behind the arc. You have to locate him and know where he is at all times if you're Baylor.
Starting five for the Bears: Agbim, Ratai, Yesufu, Carr, and Powell. Our officials tonight are Brooks Wells, Brett Smith, and Darren George. Ratai throws it up, leaves it short. Baylor's one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the nation.
And that's what we have to pay attention to, James. The glass, the offensive rebounding. How does Texas Tech, JT Toppin is a small ball five in today's game. How will Texas Tech crash the glass? Will they be able to secure rebounds and keep Baylor off the offensive glass?
Watts, Anderson, Petty, Atwell, and Toppin, the starters for Tech. Petty's three is blocked out of bounds by the rangy Cameron Carr, his 27th block of the year.
And that's what NBA scouts love about Cam Carr.
Agbim at the line, 90% on the year, rattles it true. Hasn't attempted a lot of free throws, and that's one area Texas Tech does not get to the line much. A huge advantage for their opponents at the stripe this year.
And Agbim is a guy in which Baylor really needs more out of. He's really struggled in conference, and he had high expectations coming into the season, and he really hasn't lived up to them. He's a guy in which needs to start producing and taking his offensive game to the next level if Baylor wants to turn this thing around and start getting more wins.
Goes 2 for 3 at the stripe. Baylor sticking with the 2-3 zone. Anderson probing. Atwell, this will be number 4. He's got it.
If I'm Scott Drew, I'm getting out the zone. If I'm Scott Drew, you have to get out the zone. Right now, you're allowing shooters to be comfortable and get open looks, and now they're on a heater. You have to get out the zone.
A heat-seeking missile less than 4 minutes in. Atwell had a game earlier this year in which he made 8 threes. He's already got 4. All 12 for Texas Tech. Carr's rebuttal sputters off. Powell, offensive rebound, lost his balance, and he walks with it. Baylor's first turnover. Grant McCaslin, the head coach for Texas Tech in his 3rd season, Baylor alum. He played here, he coached here. Best record through 2 seasons in program history.
I like this right here. Scott Drew realizing that the zone was not successful. Go into man-to-man, see what that comes out of it.
Could be Toppin time. Petty. Atwell, top of the key, wide left. That was a heat check. That would have been his 5th three before the first media timeout.
And those are the ones that you have to shoot. When you hit 4 in the first 4 minutes of the game, of course, you have to let it fly.
Has all 12 for the Red Raiders, who are 1-2 this season in true road games. Coming off a monster win over BYU. The next dead ball will send us to our first media timeout. Ratai looking for a lane, pulls up, short. Toppin, one of the nation's top rebounders, collects. Skip pass in the corner. Petty elevates. Too strong. Ahead to Powell, running the floor. Look at the big man.
And that's something that Baylor has been missing. They really haven't had a facilitator who can kick the ball up in transition and be able to create for his teammates, but Cam Carr showing us the versatility in his offensive game right there.
Double comes on top, and Lawan Watts has been on a heater for the Red Raiders, and he powers it down.
And when JT Toppin catches the ball in the mid-post area, the backside rotations, when you go send a double, have to be better. Right there, you allow LaJuan Watts to just get downhill uncontested.
Toppin is a tremendous passer from his four-man position. Nearly 40 assists on the year. 8 to shoot. Agbem in some trouble. Williams deep in the shot clock. Eyes against Petty. Rises up. Spits out. Offensive rebound. +1. Caden Powell has been a monster on the boards in the early minutes. And it sends us to a media timeout.
Donovan Atwell getting hot from behind the arc. Baylor better find him. 4 threes in the first 4 minutes. He's out there looking like Klay Thompson.
Of our first media timeout. Texas Tech leading by 4 at the first media break. Free throw rolls off. But Baylor's brought the energy tonight. Anderson has Powell on him. He rises up and he drills a 3.
That's what he does right there. And he's averaging 24 points and 9 assists in the last 2 games, shooting 48 from 3. I mean, the ability to be able to just size you up, take his time. He's always under control.
Played point guard in high school, split the point guard duties, played probably more so off the ball last year with Hawkins running the show. Back at his natural position as Baylor misses on the interior. Anderson pops another, and he got that one too.
But Baylor right now already allowing 6 threes in this first 7 minutes to guys who have the ability to spark up. Christian Anderson, James, is the wrong one to allow him to get going.
What can Baylor do different defensively?
You have to have a better sense of urgency where the shooters are, a better awareness. You know the scouting report. You have to be able to execute.
7 on the shot. On this end, Carr hip checked and fouled by Atwell. His first personal, 3rd team foul as we go back to the other end, and Anderson on fire.
Just take a look at this right here. On that fake screen that Watts set, there's no big for the hedge, so you get an uncontested 3 to arguably one of the best players in the Big 12. I mean, the defensive effort right there, the attention to detail on the defensive side has not been there for Baylor.
Already 6 threes for the Red Raiders here on the road. They're 6 for 9 from downtown. Carr, fade away, short. Tyree Bryan getting some early minutes, snags the rebound. Petty tries his hand, short, tapped around, out of bounds. Baylor basketball. Texas Tech by 10. Scott Drew won a national championship, 7 straight 20-win seasons. Just 3 20-win campaigns in 97 years before his arrival. They've made 13 straight postseasons. His team is 11-6 and 1-4 in Big 12 play. As our officials head to the monitor to take a look at that last out-of-bounds play, who touched it last? It's a coach's challenge.
Let's see. That's a tough one. This might be a better angle right here. Oh yeah, that went off on Yesufu. That should be Texas Tech basketball. That's a good challenge right there. That's a great challenge right there.
So with the new rule in college basketball, which I love, by the way, Grant McCaslin will get an additional challenge in his pocket, not lose a timeout that he can use if need be in the second half.
I love the challenge rule. I do not like the appeal rule. I do not like the whole appeal versus challenge. I don't like that.
Explain what the difference is.
Well, the appeal is, well, you can only challenge certain plays. You can challenge goaltending. You can challenge out-of-bounds plays. But with the appeal, it's pretty much the same thing. However, you can have unlimited appeals. You can appeal whenever you want to. Referees do have the jurisdiction to be able to call, to be able to take away your timeout, but with that, it's a difference. Challenges, you only get 2. Appeals, you get as many as you want. Like the game in Alabama and was it Texas? They had about 3 or 4 appeals in the second half that just prolonged the game way, way too long. But I don't like the appeals.
So that last play under review.
After review, the challenge by Texas Tech is successful. Texas Tech ball on the sideline. The shot clock will be placed at 20 seconds.
There you have it. Texas Tech basketball. McCaslin gets a challenge to use in the second half. Texas Tech has 4 assists on their 7 makes. They're on a 6-0 run over the last minute 22. The scary thing for Baylor is JT Toppin hasn't scored yet. 10 on the timer. Anderson had his pocket picked by James Najee.
And that right there is one of the things that Scott Drew saw when he watched the Najee film. I mean, he can sit down, his arms are long. Right there, Christian Anderson just loses the basketball. Nonetheless, I think the more games that Najee plays, I think the more comfortable and the more of an impact we will see him have.
Played 16 minutes last time out on Friday at Kansas. Circling underneath, Williams to Yesufu, 10 on the shot clock. Yesufu hasn't been active early, throws it up, it's well short. Skilling's offensive rebound, and he's fouled. Baylor top 7 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. And the fouls against Lawan Watts, that is his 2nd personal foul. And Grant McCaslin was telling us at shoot-around, foul trouble is a major concern for Texas Tech because they don't play a ton of guys.
With that, Baylor already 3 offensive rebounds in the first 8 minutes of this ball game. And we talk about how Baylor on the defensive side is not paying attention to where Texas Tech is. Well, on the flip side to that, Texas Tech has to do a better job of locating the Flyers on the shot, because Baylor has a team full of wings that are pursuing the basketball every single time the shot goes up.
Baylor's 2 for 4 at the foul line. Agbin back in for the Bears. Skillings misses both. Smaller lineup on the floor for Texas Tech. To shoot. Tech has already canned 6 threes. Toppin yet to score. Double comes. Anderson steps in. A rafter scraping 3. It's there.
I don't like where that double came from. The double came off of Christian Anderson, which allowed JT Toppin, because CA was already in his plane of sight. So right there, it's an easy pass to make. You have to send a double from the backside, not the same side.
7th Texas Tech 3. Underneath, shoveling it to Skillings. He left it short. Barely got off the floor. Toppin accelerates. Barrels into the lane. Blocking foul. Count it. And 1. Timeout on the floor. Texas Tech cruising here on the road.
Texas Tech's 2 best players just doing what they do best. Christian Anderson for the 3. And JT Toppin getting downhill was
Toppin at the line, looking to cap off an old-fashioned 3-point play prior to the break. Anderson and Atwell have combined for 21, all of them from beyond the arc. Who does Baylor turn to on this end?
I think it's time for Cam Carr to really start to look to be aggressive.
Got the rock. He turns, he gives it up, and Powell wasn't ready.
And I think right there just being a little too unselfish. You had the angle. You could have shot the floater right there, which would have been a good shot. But right there in those moments, he needs to look for his own. He needs to stop being passive.
Toppin gets a hard screen, bulldozing his way to the rim. Yesufu claims it for the Bears. Down by 15 in the first half. Agben crosses a long two. Deadly.
And that's his game. He's a three-point shooter that can get to his mid-range jumper. Not a guy that's trying to look to go all the way. So right there, creates a separation on the pick and roll. And just knocks it down.
That ends an 11-0 run from Texas Tech in a scoring drought that ran almost 4 minutes for Baylor. 10 to shoot. Toppin down low. Couple of thunderous dribbles. Contact, a whistle, +1.
And this is where Baylor is struggling on the defensive side. Right there, Dan Skillins switches late. And on that entry pass, he tries to gamble. And when he gambles, he puts himself out of position, which puts Tunde Yesufu in a really, really bad spot. Take a look at this. Skillins goes for the steal, puts you out of position. And now the backside isn't there, and Tunde Yesufu gets the foul.
They call it on Skillins, and that is his second personal foul. Toppin is top 13 in the country in scoring. He's a double-double machine, averaging almost 22 points per game. The free throw rolls in. Texas Tech is shooting 63% from the floor. Agben navigates. 10 to shoot. Powell, another miscommunication. Shovels it. This is a wild possession. That's an air ball out of bounds, and it's Texas Tech basketball.
And I think that is where the value of a point guard comes into play, James. I mean, that possession went absolutely nowhere, and they look frazzled right there. If you have a point guard, a guy who can get the ball back, orchestrate the offense, settle everything down, then maybe you can get something better than what you just got. But this right here is just not a good offensive possession right there by Baylor.
Anderson from the top, wide right. And the rebound, Baylor. Powell over the top, catches in stride, lost it on the way up, stripped and fouled. Third team foul against Texas Tech.
That's an area where I think Baylor can really excel is when they get out in transition and they run. And we say multiple times tonight, when they can get in transition, it can be really dangerous. They have a lot of athletic wings who can attack the basket with force. But right there, Ratai, good pass ahead to Caden Powell.
So what's the difference as Powell's free throw rolls off? Hey, tomorrow, everyone's favorite night of drama is back with new seasons of Chicago Med, Fire, and Chicago PD. Don't miss new Chicago Wednesday. That's tomorrow on NBC and on Peacock.
The guy who created those shows, both of those guys. I forgot the names. I completely blanked on their names right now. However.
But where'd they go to school?
They went to Baylor. I remember they came and spoke to us my senior year, which is one of the coolest moments ever. Michael Brandt and Derek Haas, both of those guys, they created those shows and they went to Baylor.
And was a big fan of Chicago Fire, still love it. Texas Tech throws it away. Just their second turnover. Agben lob, backside flush in your living room, Cameron Carr.
I think in that Oklahoma State game, what we saw is that it took a whole team effort. Everybody was clicking. I think too many times it's only Yesufu or it's Cam Carr clicking, and guys like Agben and Ratai are not really rolling. They need all guys clicking on all cylinders.
Here's Toppin with it. Swings it to Bryan. Quick bouncer. Anderson wide opened. Rings the bell.
The backside rotations. Right there. JT Toppin is an excellent passer, a really underrated part of his game. Sees the double, kicks out 2-on-1 in the backside. CA knocks it down.
A foul on the floor against Texas Tech. Team foul number 6.
So So let's look at this right here. All right, I want you to pay attention to where the double comes from. So when the double gets the ball, JT Toppin is now looking right here. When the double comes, he's looking opposite. So when he finally sees the double, his left-hand passing ability can see it, and you create a 2-on-1 on the backside. And when you create a 2-on-1 with one of the best shooters in the Big 12, that's just automatic money.
Already the 8th three for Texas Tech. As Carr swirls home the free throw. Program record, by the way, is 17 for the Red Raiders. Texas Tech by 15 after the free throw. The largest deficit overcome this season for Baylor is 14. So this would be a new season high if they came back. Carr 2 for 2. Atwell checks back in. Marial Aquintook enters to provide some length for Texas Tech. JT Toppin, who doesn't come off the floor much. He's played the full 40 in many games this season.
And I think this right here is where Baylor needs to make their push. They need to make their run because you don't have Toppin down low, so you don't have to send a double. I think this is where Baylor can make their run.
Check the score. It's 31-17. Texas Tech with Toppin departing for a quick breather. Petty. Anderson on the handle. Has Powell. 8 to shoot. Petty, Anderson playing hot potato. Quick hands. Stays with the Red Raiders with 4 on the shot clock.
And that right there was the best defensive possession that we have seen.
Texas Tech. These teams did not play a season ago down here in Waco. Red Raiders lead the all-time series, trying to beat the buzzer. Anderson jams it down. He got it off.
And those type of plays, Scott Drew just hates. Those are the ones that get shown in the film room. 3 seconds to go. You allow the best player on the floor to get an easy flush.
Ratai had it wrenched loose, got it back. 10 to shoot. Yesufu fires a 3. It's strong. Offensive rebound. Skillings to the rack.
That's what Dan Skillings does for this Baylor team. He pursues the ball when the shot goes up. One of the best offensive rebounding wings in all of the Big 12.
His first points since January 10th, 3 games ago. He missed some time as Texas Tech turns it over. Their 3rd miscue.
Let's take a look at this Christian Anderson dunk, because plays like this are just unacceptable. No backside help. There's only 3 seconds. He beats the buzzer, but somebody has to slide over. You know one thing is on his mind with 3 seconds on the shot clock.
I didn't know Christian Anderson could dunk like that.
He kind of surprised me too. I was expecting a really hard layup. My man threw it down. I love it.
High flyer for the Red Raiders. The lead is 14. Skillings needs that 3, and he delivers.
That was a great play right there by Scott Drew. The misdirection to give Dan Skillings a wide open tray. He's played well. Last game didn't score. 5 points already, a few offensive rebounds. They need Dan Skillings to be big.
Watts is playing with 2 fouls. He turns it over. Here comes Baylor. Skillings, corner pocket. Yes! It's a 3.
Help them win ball games, and you might be on to something with Dan Skillings right now.
Baylor missed their first 3 threes. Took them 13 minutes to get one to go. Back to back, and it's an 8-point spread. 6 and change left before the half. If you're just joining us, Texas Tech pacing for a program record. They've canned 8 threes in this first session. Anderson gives it up. Atwell, he strikes a 3. There's number 9 and number 5 for Atwell.
And right there, James, I don't know how much better of defense Ogbum can play right there. That was a contested shot, and one thing about Donovan Atwell, he shoots 37% on guarded threes. And you see right there, no hesitation.
Has a quick trigger. Baseline pocket pass too long and intercepted. Turnover number 3 for Baylor. Atwell on the handle, oozing with confidence. A game-high 15 in this first half here on the road. Anderson, step back, pop from the top.
Oh, man. Christian Anderson is just showing why. He's one of the best guards, not just in the Big 12, but in America, James.
This is unreal. 10 threes in a half. Ratai, his rebuttal from the wing. Nothing but net.
And Ratai is only 1 for 12 from 3 in conference. That hasn't been a strong suit. They need Ratai to really step up. They thought that he was going to be a high-level scorer, a high-level producer. He hasn't been that. They need him to start stepping up and knocking down shots like he just did.
Transferred from Oregon State. That was just his 9th 3 of the year. And quickly on the other end, Tyree Bryan. His 16th 3 of the season. Shoots less than 30% from downtown. Everybody's watching him go in.
And that one was contested as well. I mean, the last 4 threes that Texas Tech have hit, they haven't been easy shots. They're just extremely confident.
Hard foul. It goes against the Red Raiders. Now, are you a believer that shooting is contagious?
It can be.
Carr at the line for Baylor. A critical final 3:56 for the Bears to cut into the deficit. And Carr connects to get the back into the bonus. Sunday on Peacock, it's a heavyweight Premier League collision as Arsenal continues their title charge in a showdown with Man United. Streaming live, it's Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on Peacock. Carr splits the pair. Baylor just 50% from the stripe. 6 for 12 in this first half. Toppin 5 points. He's been quiet. It's been the sharp shooting from Anderson and Atwell, who have combined for 10 threes, and he throws up a brick.
And I like that right there. They didn't send the double. They allowed them to play one-on-one because they've been so concerned with his passing out of the double. They just would rather him go one-on-one than get an open 3 with the way Tech has been shooting the ball.
Second dunk for Cameron Carr. He has 27 dunks this season. Baylor's made 5 consecutive field goals. Less than 3 to play in this first half. Toppin against Carr, one-on-one. Turns him around and throws it in.
That's what he does. You can't allow him to get to that right shoulder. He loves that left-hand hook. You have to take that away and force him to go the opposite direction, shoot it with his right hand.
Williams terminates, nearly threw it away. Skillings trying to provide room service, taken away by Bryan, his second steal. He's been a spark off the bench. Toppin with Skillings glued to him down low. Turns, feathers it home.
And typically on the first bump, if you're a smaller defender, referees will never give it to you. It has to be a second bump. The second bump, they'll give it to you. The first one, they typically rule that as a flop.
Skillings from the top, in and out. That may have been Toppin that tipped it in.
Right now, Baylor needs a little bit of luck. They can take anything. They'll take anything they can get.
The KenPom luck rating just skyrocketed for the Bears. Minute 40 to go. First half, Toppin's held by Williams.
Let's go back and take a look to see who actually knocked that in. Good battle down low. That was Toppin. Well, maybe that was Powell. It was close. Maybe Powell, maybe Toppin. Nonetheless, 2 points for Baylor.
Yeah, officially on paper, we'll give it to Powell. We won't take a take 2 away from Toppin on the other side, who has 9. What's Baylor need in the last 98 seconds down by 13?
Well, they need to see if they can cut it to single digits.
Yeah.
Cutting it to single digits is a major difference going into the half. Down double digits versus single. It's honestly more of a mental thing.
Anderson turning the corner. Atwell from the top. His 6th three.
You know, sometimes, James, you get into that flow state where anything that you throw up, it goes in. Atwell, right now in this first half, is there.
Our upcoming college basketball schedule on Peacock as Skillians draws a foul. Tonight at 10 Eastern, number 4 Purdue and UCLA. And then tomorrow in the Big East, Georgetown and Villanova. Back to the Big 12. Tomorrow night at 9 Eastern with West Virginia, Arizona State. And then on Saturday, Iowa State and Oklahoma State at 4 Eastern. Right here on Peacock. Atwell is 6 for 8, 18 points. All of his points from beyond the arc. He's not attempted a 2. Skillians, these free throws continue to pop out. And the frustrations mounting at the line. Second one is true, goes 1 for 2. Texas Tech has scored over 84 points in back-to-back games. They're pacing for close to 100. Over the top to JT, has the guard on him. Atwell, a 3, no way! Number 7!
I don't know if I've ever seen a shooting performance in a first half like this before.
Bodies on the floor. 20 seconds to go. Carr dashing right. Long pass. Yesufu collects. Anderson checks with his coach. A symphony of signals from the Texas Tech bench. Anderson behind the back, a 3, throws it up, and he rips the cords at the buzzer. King said it in the first half. 14 threes for Texas Tech, quick hands, and Baylor's Yesufu telling Coach Drew to challenge that it was out of bounds off of a Red Raider. So we have a challenge right away in the first second. So Baylor gets one more challenge if they need it. Baylor basketball. If you're just joining us, you'll notice different names on Baylor's jerseys tonight. They're honoring the Immortal 10. The players lost in the 1927 teen bus tragedy. This is Agbim with the ball. But the nameplate says Foster with 9 to shoot. Ratai rises up, wide left, rebound. Anderson for the Red Raiders. Texas Tech program record is 17 threes in a game. They hit 14 in the first half. Toppin with 10 to shoot against Yesufu, and Yesufu picks up the foul.
Got a little handsy right there. But let's take a look at this. Because on this, that left hand going to the hip, not allowing JT Toppin to turn and spin. That's where they got him right there.
And another foul off the ball on the interior against Baylor. It goes against Powell. So 2 quick fouls on Baylor's first defensive possession of the stanza.
So as a player right now, James, you see 2 quick fouls in 40 seconds. You have to adjust. Right there, JT Toppin just getting to his left hand. I mean, he's so good when you allow him to go to his strong side.
Coming off a 27-point effort against BYU, Toppin in double figures with 11. Show and go on Agbin. 8 to shoot. Carr a long way from the cup. Yesufu, look where the Bears are running their offense. Has to hoist a prayer. Atwell claims it.
Not a great offensive possession right there by Baylor. A lot of stagnant, no movement. You hoist a three, bad spacing. Just not a great possession.
Lawan Watts didn't play much in the first half. Picked up 2 fouls. Shovels it across. Petty's 3 around and off. Carr an a la carte rebound. Push pass. Yesufu in traffic. Miss. And the rebound snatched away. Yesufu reclaims. Watts has it.
Yesufu has just really struggled tonight. Those are the plays, if you're Baylor, you need in order to get back into this ball game. You have to convert on that fast break opportunity.
He's 2 for 8 from the field tonight. Yesufu has just 4 points, averages almost 20 per game. They hook it inside to Toppin. 6 to shoot. Toppin off the glass. No. Powell, double clutch, and he connects.
And I've been really impressed with the way Cam Carr has been able to keep his eyes up and facilitate right there. The pass to a cutting Caden Powell because the big did not get back. Just a good play in transition by Cam Carr, keeping his eyes up, delivering the basketball where it needs to go.
Carr has a team-high 3 assists tonight for Baylor. Anderson one-on-one. Foul against Powell. Fans cannot believe it here at Foster Pavilion.
And yes, the referees are calling it a little bit tighter in this second half, but as a player, James, you can't do anything about it. You just have to adjust. You have to slide your feet, keep your hands off the offensive guy, and you have to realize and understand how the referees are calling it. Because if you continue to do what you're doing, you're going to be in a bonus by 14, 15-minute mark. So you have to move your feet, play without your hands.
The Texas Tech mismatches become a real problem when it's called like this. Carr, steal, foul. Against the Red Raiders, their first foul in this half. A lot of fouls in the first 3 minutes of this second half.
Right there, Cam Carr just jumps the passing lane, and it's hard to tell if he got tripped. I mean, he definitely tripped up, but it's hard to tell if Atwell really clipped him. But that right there, when JT Toppin catches the ball down low and you send a double, being able to jump the passing lane, especially on that pass that's diagonal to the wing, is something that Baylor can do time and time again. Good defensive prowess right there by Cam Carr.
That was the 3rd foul on Donovan Atwell, so he sits for the time being. Cross-court skip. Carr, a deep 3 is an air ball. Texas Tech. Anderson fuels the break. Jetting baseline. Watts, a 3, short. Offensive rebound. Watts left alone underneath. Just the 2nd basket tonight for Lawan Watts. He didn't play much in the first half because he picked up 2 quick fouls. Ratai stops on a dime. Skillings losing his balance and the dribble.
Baylor's having a hard time getting into their offense. They have to find ways to get into the lane and be able to create. And once again, I keep reiterating this point, but that's the value of a point guard that they're missing.
Who's the #1 most likely candidate to kind of settle the troops?
Cam Carr, Isaac Williams, but whatever you do on offense doesn't matter if you cannot get stops on the defensive side, and Baylor is struggling. Straight line drives with no backside rim protection. That's the formula for disaster right there.
Largest lead of the night for Texas Tech. They are scoring at will. Agbin rises up from the foul line, and it swirls in.
And that's what happens when you get the ball to the middle of the paint. If you can get to that Big 12 area, You have enough guys that can either stop on a dime, rise up, and knock down the mid-range jumper like what we just saw, or when the defense collapses, you can kick out for wide open shots.
Penny pulls the trigger from the top. His three! An absolute dart from the freshman.
And the way he elevates on his jumper, it's so hard to contest. It looks like he got up limping a little bit.
See if Baylor attacks him. Agbin underneath Yesufu. Powers it over the top.
That's just a great seal. And right there, Yesufu clearly has the size advantage right there on Christian Anderson. So he ducks him in. Good job by Obi Agbim being able to deliver the ball for the easy two.
Penny loses his balance and his dribble. Steal Carr, 2-on-1, takes it himself and finishes.
When Baylor has gotten stops, they have been able to convert in transition. That's been their best offense. But it starts with getting stops. They have to lock in on the defensive side.
6 minutes into this second half. Toppin in the lane. That's money for JT Toppin when he gets in that deep. Agbin around the wheel. Skillings on the scramble.
Wow.
Tosses it home.
Wow, falling to the floor. Losing his balance. Just throw the ball up. And Skillings is playing extremely well and has done a lot of good for Baylor.
He's got 11 points in 15 minutes tonight. Toppin banging with Ratai with the left in and one.
You cannot allow him to get to his left hand. He's way too good and way too strong. But this right here, tough layup, Dan Skillings falling to the floor. How did he make this? I have no idea. But I mean, this team right here, Texas Tech, is as confident as a team as there is in Big 12 play.
Toppin at the line, caps the old-fashioned three. They've been really working on his free throw form. Shooting 49% for the year from the line. Drops that one in. Has 16 tonight, and Texas Tech leads 69-46. A foul as Carr maneuvers his way to the basket. They call it against Petty. Team foul number 2 in the half on the Red Raiders, and the first against the freshman. Williams crosses, drops it off. Powell in traffic, 3 black jerseys around him, sticks it.
That's just a great way to get into the lane right there by Williams. I think he's the one guy on this Baylor squad who can actually do a really consistent job of just getting to the lane and creating.
Anderson, no. Ends a streak of 5 straight makes for Texas Tech. Baylor got the stop. Can they get the score? Skillings 3 off, and Watts has been very active on the glass in the second half. Anderson wide open. Pinball's off.
Baylor got saved right there. Not locating the man in transition. Just allowing a wide open tray by a guy who was on a heater in the first half.
Foul goes against Lawan Watts, his 3rd.
Let's take a look at this right here. I mean, you don't have a man in transition, but you can't leave that guy alone. You got bailed out. But more times than not, Christian Anderson is knocking that down.
Now that possession aside, because he's wide open, has Baylor made adjustments defensively at the half?
Well, they're doing a better job of guarding the three-point line, I will say that.
Next month, experience the majesty of the Winter Olympics from Northern Italy, Friday, February 6th on NBC and Peacock. Texas Tech by 21. Skillings at the line is 1 for 5 tonight from the stripe. sneaks in. It's a 20-point lead for Texas Tech. Baylor applying some pressure. What's the key to this?
Right here, with all the length that you have in your wings, just try to see if you can get something going. I mean, defensively, you haven't been great, so see if you can cause some type of disruption to this Texas Tech offense by just throwing a full-court press at them.
Anderson on the handle. 8 to shoot. Has Powell one-on-one. Jitterbugs to the rim. Blocked. Out of bounds with 2 on the shot clock. Timeout on the floor. Here at Baylor back in 2015 as Toppin misses. Hasn't started an NFL game in 2 seasons. Carr fires a 3 wide right. Toppin snatches it away. Loses it out of bounds. Ill-advised, rare JT Toppin mental miscue. You said the Seahawks defense?
The Seahawks defense has been great.
Same defense that Matt Stafford threw for almost 500 yards against about a month ago?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I was just checking. I didn't know if we had the wrong team. Just making sure.
I know what you saw. I know you saw what they did to the 49ers.
Man, they look legit. They do. Texas Tech has missed their last 4 shots. Baylor trying to claw their way back into it. Have to start knocking down some free throws. They're getting to the line, but they're just 8 of 16 tonight. 50% as a team. As Anderson picks up the foul, that is his second.
And James, when you're in situations like this, when you're down by 20, you can't look at it as being down by 20. You have to play the medias. And what I mean by that is, under this 12, this under 12, you need to cut it down by about 6. Right? Then you get to the under 8. See if you can cut it down by another 6. So then by the under 4, now it's only a 2-possession ball game, and then you're back in it. So you have to play the medias. You can't look at it as trying to come back from a 19-point deficit. You have to cut it down media by media.
Baylor's got to baby step this thing. There's no 19-point play. They've been better on the defensive end. Toppin, in and out.
And that right there is a good defensive possession. I mean, you force JT Toppin to shoot it with his right hand, you win right there.
Carr snakes by his defender. Baylor's made 5 of their last 7 on the offensive end.
This is where you make your push.
It's Toppin time underneath. That time he gets the roll.
And I think that's where he's grown arguably the most in his game. So many teams know that he's trying to get to his left hand. So his ability to now go either hand and be more confident with the right side has been huge.
Williams bottoms on a 3.
And that's been huge. I mean, that's not something that Isaac Williams is known to do. He's shooting 50% from 3 on the year, but he hasn't taken many. He's not known as a shooter. He's a driver, but he can knock it down. He showed right there.
To your point, that's only number 11 on the year. Toppin underneath, had Williams on him one-on-one.
And I know you don't want to send a double because you're scared of what JT Toppin can do as far as passing the ball, but when you have a point guard like Isaac Williams down low matched up against Toppin, you have to send the double.
Toppin added 16 pounds of muscle from this time last year. Agbam throws it up, wipe it off. An illegal screen. It goes against Powell. It's an offensive foul. Take 2 off the board for the Bears.
And let's take a look at these last 2 buckets by JT Toppin. Because in this first one, I mean, Caden Powell played this great. Got him to his offhand, but he's good enough to make that. And right here, you have to send the double. You can't allow your point guard to be matched up on a guy like Toppin because every single time, James, it's an automatic bucket.
20 points tonight. It's been a quiet 20. Just 14 shots. He's done it in 26 minutes. 3 20-point scores for Texas Tech. Anderson and Atwell, neither player has scored here in the second half. Anderson, Toppin, 9 to shoot. Double comes. Frees up Bryan, and he's hammered. How do you stop JT Toppin when he has the ball? Double or not, he's always making plays.
Well, right there, you just have to rotate better. I mean, early on in the game, we saw when they sent the double, he was able to kick it diagonal to that wing three. But the one thing that you can't give up is backside under the rim and leave the man closest to the hoop open. Nobody ever teaches that on the defensive side.
Bryan at the line, converts the free throw. Texas Tech has only made 1 3 here in the second half. But they built a 19-point lead at the break.
And I think that's the problem that JT Toppin poses against any team in the country, because he's so good scoring one-on-one, and he's become such a better passer that you really have to pick your poison. I mean, we saw what they can do from the perimeter when he passes out the double. So then you allow him to play one-on-one in the second half, and he's scoring at will. I mean, that's the problem that JT Toppin poses when he's on the floor.
College basketball on Peacock, Nebraska and Michigan. What a matchup that'll be. 9:07 to go here in Waco. Texas Tech leads Baylor by 20. Even though Baylor's made 7 of their last 9 field goals. A foul on the floor. It was against Petty, his second. Toppin, quick hands. Knocked into backcourt. Bryan beats everybody to it. Throws it up and in. And that is the effort that the Texas Tech coaches have been waiting for from Tyree Bryan.
And we talk about Texas Tech not being a team that goes into their bench. However, Tyree Bryan is a guy in which Grant McCasland thinks can actually crack the rotation and get more consistent minutes. And based off the effort he's shown tonight, I think that he's on to something.
Maybe having his best game of the year with 7 points in 23 minutes. A couple of steals and rebounds. After the Baylor miss, Texas Tech in control with the ball.
I mean, check this, James. Texas Tech is 362nd in the country in bench minutes. They do not go to their bench. But Bryan is a guy that's more than capable of earning minutes.
Anderson, he's a starter, and he hits another 3. Number 7 for Anderson.
You just can't allow guys to get in rhythm. That's one of the hardest things to do. And you allow good shooters, good scorers to get in rhythm and see shots go in early. You can be in for a long night because then their confidence continues to grow. When a confident basketball player with the ability that Anderson has, it's dangerous.
Rattai's answers off the mark. Soaring in like Superman, then losing it. Yesufu couldn't hang on. Timeout on the floor. 7.5 to play. Texas Tech needs 1 more 3 to tie a program record.
Good defense leading to easy offense. And this is the effort right there that Grant McCasland wants to see. Tyree Bryan.
Anderson and Toppin. 10 to shoot. Quick hands by Rattai and a steal. Foul on the floor against the Red Raiders.
And that's where Williams excels. I mean, his first step is cat quick. He stops on a dime and then bursts out of that. He's so hard to contain.
He didn't score last time out against Kansas. It was his first scoreless game of his collegiate career. He's hit a 3 in this one. Fouls on the floor. Yesufu climbing the ladder. Pops out. Watts with his 7th rebound. All of them in this second half. Pocket pass. Toppin spinning and delivering.
He just has such great touch around the rim. It doesn't matter what angle he's at. He just has that ability with the left hand to just put the ball in the hole.
Ratai fell down. Watts with the thievery. Had it poked away. Yesufu fires. Rebound. Ratai. He puts it home for the Bears. Ends an 11-0 run for Texas Tech over the last 3:42. Six minutes to go. Ratai's been very active the last couple of possessions. Anderson to Atwell. An air bang. And Ratai claims it. Yesufu. A frenetic pace. Anderson, a long three. That is clean. Number 8 for Anderson, a new career high.
You know, James, shooting off the dribble as a guard is a really undervalued skill that a lot of guards do not possess. But Christian Anderson is one of the best in the Big 12, arguably the best at shooting the tray off of the dribble.
That last three tied a program record, 17 for the Red Raiders.
You know, Christian Anderson just has a little bit of a guy who I played with, little Jared Butler in him. Just that confidence. And you talk about shooting off the dribble from three. I mean, Jared Butler was phenomenal at that. And then a little different, but, you know, similar levels of confidence right there.
Yesufu's three slides across the rim. I love the comp. Both guys around the same height, 6'3", 6'4". Can play on the ball, off the ball. And you played with some tremendous shooters during your time at Baylor. You could fill it up from time to time.
I was okay. I got hot every now and then.
But
I learned how to be more of a defensive guy as my career prolonged, especially my senior year. I mean, I realized if you play defense and you play hard, coaches can't pull you off the floor. If you do the little things, they can't take you off. That's how you get 30-plus minutes a night. I was like the ultimate team guy, like a glue guy. I had my nights where I got hot offensively, and I could really fill it up, but I was a team guy. I was a very unselfish, put the team guy first, you know?
Locker room guy.
I'm a great locker room guy. I'll be a great guy to coach. Coaches want to coach me because I'm just all about the right things. I'm just do the little things.
A foul underneath. Everywhere we go, coaches are always raving about if you played for them. If you played for them. So I know that's true. But did you ever play in a game like this where one team is just lights out, 17 threes for Texas Tech?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on my fair share of both ends of this. Yeah. I mean, I've had blowouts against good teams. I've also gotten blown out by some good teams in big moments.
Fall underneath.
Texas Tech was one of the teams we got. Well, I didn't play in that game, but my senior year, the year they went to the championship game, we beat them at home. Then we went to their crib. Boy, did they put a whooping on us. And you know, I had an arthroscopy. So I wasn't playing. What you would hear, you have no idea what you're going to hear out of Texas Tech student section or West Virginia student section. Even Oklahoma State, when they're good, has a really good student section. But Kansas is just loud. You just can't hear anything in there.
That's amazing. So in Lubbock and Stillwater, they're Googling your family history, like your family tree, trying to go deep into the weeds.
Man, look, West Virginia. They do a whole scouting report of the team for their student section.
Yes.
And I remember I had a teammate my freshman year. His name was, I'm not going to name his name, right?
Okay.
But I had a teammate. Mind you, my man was super secluded. He didn't really talk to that many. He didn't talk to us like that. He gets to the free throw line, and the West Virginia student section starts chanting a name. And we're like, it's a girl's name. We're like, what are they talking about? And after the game, he was like, that's my girlfriend. I was like, we didn't even know you had a girlfriend. Like,
wow.
Like, how did they find that? Student sections are incredible.
The students knew, but his teammates didn't. That is some serious FBI-level detective work. as Anderson's jumper pops out. A rare miss tonight for him. Car in traffic, jump ball, and it'll stay on this end with Baylor. 4 and change to go. Texas Tech on top, 87-60. When you played at Baylor, Grant McCaslin was an assistant for the Bears. Fouls against Atwell, or the jump, I should say. But you had McCaslin as an assistant. Scott Drew was your head coach. These guys are really good friends. Grant was telling us that Coach Drew called him up last night, invited him over for a pickleball challenge.
That's the most Coach Drew thing ever. The pickleball challenge at his house, first off. Then proceeds to tell Coach McCaslin the court is a little slick. And McCaslin was like, man, ain't no way I'm going over there. I'm not about to break a bone before I have to coach.
Tearing ACL right before game day. But as Toppin attacks, misses the jam. The tie has it for the Bears. Yesufu, deep 3. Anderson claims it for the Red Raiders. But what was it like playing for Coach McCaslin, Coach Drew? How are they similar? How are they different?
I mean, basketball minds that are just elite in both of those guys. And Coach Drew did a really good job of allowing his assistants to be able to have a massive voice within the program. A lot of head coaches don't do that. So there would be days where Grant McCaslin would be the main one talking. There would be days where Paul Mills would be the main one coaching, or Jerome Tang. But Grant McCaslin, I was drawn to him out of all the coaches. Him and Coach Tang were just my 2 guys. And I'll never forget the day he told me he was leaving. It was my freshman year. And we were in the gym just working out one-on-one. And mind you, we had a great relationship throughout the whole recruitment process, and just him being at Baylor. Like, that was my go-to guy. And I'll never forget, we're working out, and he tells me, you know, I'm leaving. I'm going to Arkansas State. I stopped mid-workout. And like, we literally just stopped the workout and just talked about, dang, like, I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to go anywhere. And that's the type of relationship that me and him have, even to this day. And I call him for anything, and he'll always answer. He'll take 30 minutes out of his day to just talk. Enjoyed pregame lifts.
Quick hands by Texas Tech's Leon Horner. As they've cleared the bench, they've got Nolan Groves out on the floor. They're high on the freshman from Minnesota, especially on the defensive end of the floor. A blistering 3-point outing for Texas Tech. They tied a program record with 17 threes. One more would officially set the mark. Here in the closing minutes, Watts. Foul on the floor against Williams.
And, you know, the one area that I've been actually really impressed with Texas Tech in this game is, I mean, they really haven't shied away from Baylor when it comes to rebounding. I mean, the glass has been even tonight, and you know, typically that's an area where Baylor really excels. But Tech, even though our only true 5 is JT Toppin, they've done a really good job being able to keep up with Baylor on the glass.
The rebounding nearly dead even. The bench points in favor of Baylor, but the shooting, Texas Tech, all 3 levels, 61% from the floor, 65% from 3. And they've made their free throws. They came into this one 13th out of 16 teams in the league in foul shooting. Tonight they're 7 for 8 as a team. Skillings banging with Horner on the block. Terminates, has to put it up. Corner rebound. These teams continue to fight with 1:24 to play.
And that's the effort that you want to see, especially when you have a big lead like this. You want your guys to be able to compete. I mean, guys like Horner, guys like Groves, I mean, this is the time where they earn their minutes.
80 seconds to go. Carr working his way through defenders. Finger rolls it in.
You know, Baylor's going to have to figure it out. And I have no doubt in my mind that the man over there, Scott Drew, will 1,000% figure this out because there's just no quit in him. He is a resilient guy. He doesn't take no for an answer. He understands how to win, and yeah, they're on a tough stretch, but if anybody can figure it out, that's one thing that I talked to about with Coach McCassin before the game. He said if anybody in this country can figure this out, how to turn ship around for Baylor, it's Scott Drew, because of the relentlessness in which he coaches with.
They have had a brutal schedule to start Big 12 play. This Texas Tech team that they're playing tonight is their 4th AP Top 25 opponent in their first 6 conference games, and one of those games was against an unranked at the time Kansas team on the road. Watts, 1 for 2. Texas Tech, their offense, the last 3 games, humming. 88 against Utah, 84 against BYU, and 92 tonight. And in danger of handing Baylor their largest margin of defeat this season. Williams, knifing, +1. That's a crafty move.
And he's so hard to keep out of the lane, and I think that's when he's at his best. And he's a guy that Baylor really didn't expect to play as much as he does, but when he gets in the game, his ability to be able to attack and then explode to the rim, finish through contact, is his greatest strength.
They called the foul on Francis, who just checked in, his first. Caps off the old-fashioned 3. A look at Baylor's upcoming schedule. They've got TCU here at home on Saturday. Then 3 of the next 4 after that on the road. So we'll have to figure it out as they travel across the country here in the Big 12.
And the game against TCU is basically a revenge game.
Outside the 3 from Horner, in and out. Why is it a revenge game?
And they lost early on in the season, or earlier, first game of conference, they lost to him.
Carr buries a 3.
You have to get that one. It's also kind of a rivalry game, if you want to classify that as a rivalry. I mean, I don't really know if it's a true rivalry. I mean, maybe, James?
Oh, yeah. The Blue Bonnet Bowl? Come on.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I played in a bunch of those games.
Heated.
You know what? I can't say certain things on air. Certain things will get me in trouble.
So Baylor will look to avenge that loss on Saturday.